My name is Brandon, and in today's video I'm going to do a walk around of my 2022 Triumph Trident 660 and some of the aftermarket modifications that I've made to it. I apologize for the background noise. There will be some traffic driving by. I'm here on the 38. I was doing a quick canyon run before picking my kids up from school today, but I wanted to shoot this video. A lot of people have been asking me for a full mod list and what my future plans are with this bike, so let's get right into it. You can see definitely looks a little bit different from stock. This was the Diablo Red version that I picked up from the dealership. There's no longer any red on there. First thing I did was put protection on the bike. I started with the frame sliders here. These are from Evotech. I believe the Triumph slider is a rectangle. I just preferred the round look of this one. And yeah, I just liked how it looked. So Evotech frame sliders. I also got the axle slider for the front rim and the axle slider for the rear rim. Those are also Evotech. And then I got the rear bobbins here to be able to put this thing on a stand or to lift the rear tire. So those were the first modifications I did. Full protection from rear to front of the bike. The next thing I went ahead and installed right away was a phone mount. I needed to use GPS. I live in a city. I think it's normally blue, but I rattle can spray painted it like an olive drab green and installed it to the handlebars there. There's a really sweet one that you can get that installs here, but I want to say it's like $200 or $300, but it places your phone right in the middle. That might be something I get in the future, but just for one of the first mods, I wanted to get my phone on my handlebars right away. This one cost me around $100, so quite a bit cheaper, but still very efficient, and it locks it in there really solid. So around the same time that I sprayed that green, I also wrapped underneath the seat here with that same OD green color. I just wanted to delete all the red on the bike, and my favorite colors are green, brown, black, gray, kind of neutral earth colors, or maybe camouflage-ish looking colors. Everything that I do is kind of color coordinated with that similar theme, and I dig how it looks on this bike. But yeah, I have the 3M OD green underneath the seat, which I wrapped myself. It's kind of a pain in the butt. It was my first time wrapping something, but it is doable if you've never done it before. And speaking of this seat, the upper portion also is just a cover that I got from Sahara Seat Cover, which is brown. I can't remember the exact brown. They have a ton of different colors. I just went with the darkest brown that I could find, and I like how it contrasted with the black and the gray and all the silver on this bike. So Sahara Seat Cover, it's not an entire seat. The stock seat is literally underneath it. This just slides over it like a sock. Pretty cheap, but it's lasted me over 1.5 years. It's been in some rainstorms on accident, and it's held up pretty well. And as you guys can see, there's a certain vibe I'm going with as far as the aesthetics on this bike. You know, it's a Triumph, and I consider this a naked sport bike. It is what it is, but I like to have a little bit of dash of neo-retro sort of cafe racer vibe on this thing, since it is a Triumph. I tried to delete the chrome on this rear set here. I used a high heat rattle can and tried to black that out. You can see it's kind of wearing off now, especially on the foot pedals, but I did black those out. It's actually easier than you guys think, just removing these 2 bolts. You can take those out. I baked them in an oven after using a high temp powder coat out of a rattle can, but I put it in the oven, baked it. There's starting to get some areas where it's getting scuffed up and the silver is shining through again though. I also put these Rizoma bar-in mirrors on. I think they look fantastic. People always ask me what's the visibility like, and I don't know if you guys can see in here, but they're so clear. It went from high definition on the stock mirrors, and now these things are like 4K or like 8K. The actual mirror itself is so much of a higher quality that I can see it actually a lot better. The circle shape of it and the placement of it being on the bars, after a few rides I got used to it right away, and now it's a huge upgrade for visibility for me. They are pretty pricey. I think it was $100 per mirror, but I think they look awesome. Again, going for that kind of bar-in mirror, neo-retro cafe racer look, but they came out pretty sweet. Those are from Rizoma. The next mod after the mirrors I did was this Zard exhaust. It's a full 3-in-1 from the header, deletes the cat, and then adds the exhaust on there. This is the blacked out carbon fiber version. People always ask me what version. I live in the USA and they only had one option available. I believe it was the non-modulated, and there's no dB killer in there. So if you listen to the sound on my other videos when I did the install, that's for you. I always get that question. The Zard really improved the sound on this bike, and it looks awesome, and it actually handles a lot better. The stock exhaust on this thing was like 10-15 pounds heavier than the Zard exhaust, and it's really noticeable. Even just slow maneuvering and waddling around at the stoplight, this thing feels like a completely different bike. It's so much lighter now. But so far, that has been my favorite mod that I've done to this bike. It sounds amazing. It is also the most expensive mod that I've done to this bike. And lastly, the most recent thing I did is I added these carbon fiber accents here on the radiator guard and on the front fender here. So there's no more red. Those are carbon fiber, and it matches the Zard exhaust pretty good. And I think those are the main things that I've done so far on this bike, you guys. The next thing I'm going to do is a possible tail tidy, although I don't mind this license plate. I don't like how the reflectors are here. They stick out kind of funky. That's the only reason I would like to put it up there. But I might go with the tail tidy on my next install, so make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see that. Possible other upgrades I might do rear suspension. I know there's Olin's makes an adjustable suspension for this bike, and I have not done the quick shifter. I also always get that question, so that could be possible upgrade in the future. I really love shifting and pulling the clutch as it is now, stock on the bike, so I haven't been in a rush to get the quick shifter. And I've also had a few little hiccups with my service department as far as installing things. They price it at an outrageous price, so I've been a little hesitant to go get the quick shifter installed as well. But so far, that's the current modification list and upgrade list that I've done. This bike is a ton of fun to ride. I've had it, I think, 1.5 years now, and I still love it. I daily ride this thing every single day. It's a ton of fun. And of course, I enjoy modifying it and messing with it and customizing it. A lot of it is aesthetics, but I think it looks badass, excuse my language. So yeah, still love this bike, dude. Anyways, I gotta go pick up my kids. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you found it useful or you found an idea that you didn't think of, give it a thumbs up. I will list all the modifications in the description below. And as usual, I'll remind you to get outside, stay hydrated, and keep on moving.